Hey there, my name is Anton and I'm founder and CEO of B2 Storefront, cross-platform headless storefront built using Gatsby. We deliver high-performance front-end for merchants on Shopify, BigCommerce, and Swell. We handled multiple migrations already and built a bunch of stores in our work using Jira and Scrum. Jira is pretty extensive and complex system that allows high level of flexibility and possibility to organize work on the project in a specific way. You can use tasks and epics, but also there is such thing like component that will allow to organize a subset of work under a specific part of the system and see exact workload caused by it. This video is a part of our Let's Think Together series where I want to share results of our own research and ask for an advice. Those videos are dedicated to e-commerce professionals, agencies, merchants, conversion rate optimization experts. So please feel free to comment, ask more questions, and share your thoughts. Let's think together. Recently, I wanted to create a template with the project setup for a typical implementation and draft components, which we'll have in such template Jira project. Organizing the work on a typical project, we need to make a bunch of assumptions. So here I want to use a sitemap of a sample store, and since every specific store is now built in the paradigm of Composable Commerce, where not only the e-commerce engine is being chosen, but merchants can customize and choose how to handle each specific aspect of their online store, such as CMS, marketing stack, customer support, and in more advanced cases, solutions like product information management systems, ERPs, or third-party platforms to handle order dispatching and order management. So let's take a look through a sample sitemap. Here we have a homepage, and everything is started from the main page of a store. So from that perspective, we can basically split a storefront. Let's take a look here into the map. So we're splitting the storefront into specific pieces. So this item here is actually here on the sitemap. Let's go one by one. We have registration form, user profile, customer login. All of those items belongs to the back office, customer back office. It's a customer dashboard. So here we have basically order history and order details, like a specific order detail. Then we can see catalog, where it means basically a collection of products. So we're talking about category of products, we're talking about specific product details page and stuff like that. Another one part I called shopping tools, where we can put elements such as wish list, compare products. So if you basically have multiple brands and you, for example, selling fridges or some equipment that can be compared side by side. Purchase order intake. So if you plan to have a trade form or you plan to working with B2B end customers, that also useful to have. And physical stores locator. So for example, if you have an offline presence in the brick and mortar stores, that would be also useful. And obviously order status checker, which will redirect person for the information that can be obtained here. Obviously, we have shopping cart, checkout process, checkout confirmation, payment gateway, and failure or success page for the specific outcome of the payment. This vertical is handled by Shopify. In case if we're talking about platforms like Shopify, and not much can be done here if we're not using Shopify Plus, which gives some possibilities, but also not so much. And contact us page, we do also have section that is about content pages like about us, FAQ, and so on. I called this type of pages legal wall of text because they are about some sort of terms and conditions and different stuff that is necessary to run the store, but this content is just a wall of text. And final thing is the blog category view, and blog post, like a specific blog post. We intentionally skipping here landing pages, and because they could be super custom. So this is a sitemap, and let's take a look how those pages are split between the e-commerce components puzzle. Since we earlier said that we're going to base off example of a composable commerce setup, here what we have. So we have Contentful as a CMS, but it can be any headless CMS like Strapi, Storyblok, Sanity, or whatever the option would be chosen. We have obviously an e-commerce system like Shopify, and then in this extended option we basically have Sin7 for product information input and Order Hive for order dispatching management, but normally majority of the stores would using ShipStation or any other plugins for some things, and use their Shopify instance without any product information management system, which I think is a mistake, and we'll return to that topic in another video. Let's say most usable and most useful systems for customer support and marketing are Klaviyo and Gorgias. So I just put them here to show on a diagram how things are flowing. So the data from CMS being published to Storefront, the data from Shopify being pulled by Storefront to be present there, and Shopify exchange the information with third-party integrations like Gorgias, Klaviyo, and many more. I saw shops that using 10, 20, up to 50 different apps. And essentially the philosophy of Shopify is, in general, there is an app for that. So it is a pretty common approach. And we have data intake into Shopify from ERP, Product Information Management System. And we have the post-purchase handling of orders into Order Hive. So this is our setup for that specific thought experiment. Okay, so let's talk about components which I pulled out from this setup, and I'm happy to hear your feedback and actually ask to put some thoughts in comments if I'm missing something or you have questions. So we have essentially storefront, and in the storefront we see components like navigation. It's basically all the menus, all the links or groups of links that being set up in a store backend. Main page, it's the index homepage of the whole site. Collection page, aka category page, is the listing page that contains products fetched based on a specific criteria. So if we will operate by glossary of Shopify, collections are used everywhere. If you want to send a newsletter, you create a collection. If you want to organize your products any specific way, you end up setting up collections. The most important thing of each store is the product details page. Why is that? Because in many cases it's the ultimate landing page of a specific ad campaign. So that way online stores decide to route the traffic to their product details page right away from the first click. So this is very important part, and it's really worth to focus on the best possible user experience and best possible performance for those product details pages. Page component. We're talking about page component as a specific section on any landing page. So it can be a carousel, it can be a image gallery, it can be a call to action section, and so on and so on. Cart. All the tasks that are related to the cart section and all logic around it, like discounts calculation, the order total, different type of upsells, downsells, all of the stuff. In the specific case, of the store, we talked about legal pages, legal wall of text pages, and we have them done very simple way. They basically a solid chunk of content. And from that perspective, we have a couple more. It's blog, authentication, landing page, and FAQ. So if we're talking about blog, the blog post can be very important, simple, given that it is a way how we can produce content for SEO and expose shoppable content inside those content pieces. Authentication and customer dashboard are actually being pulled into the separate slide of the customer area and are listed here. If we're talking about FAQ, it's quite powerful as well from the SEO perspective, and this way we actually use this a lot on different stores. Let's talk about core. So essentially the core is three components. It's the CMS, so everything that is related to the content management system, to the admin panel of specific page, and so on and so on. E-commerce platform, it's everything that is related to the actual platform that being chosen for that specific project. So it can be Shopify, it can be BigCommerce, and so on. Checkout, all the tasks related to the checkout, everything that is past the click of a checkout button. Obviously, in any project, we have a lot of tasks that are focused on surrounding operations and ability to deliver completed features. And I put those components under one area called DevOps. So everything that's related to the setup of new instances, we usually have staging, UAT, and production. UAT is user acceptance tests, which is customer, it's a client-facing instance, and production is the end customer-facing instance. Also in this area, I put deployment. It's the actual rollout and the actual rollout steps of a specific release, anywhere from stage to UAT, or from a specific UAT released version that we are going to release to production, for example. And also technical depth. So all of those jams and different things that are being implemented just for the sticking to the timeline, because in e-commerce space, deadlines are actually not moving at all, and in some specific problems that we're solving, we can't wait for the ideal implementation to happen. So we need to ship a feature first and then think about how this implementation would affect an upcoming feature's velocity and completion of other items. So this is all collected under component technical depth. Current setup of each e-commerce site is actually very heavy infused by marketing and tracking. We have various tracking pixels, we have various third-party marketing platforms integrations, and so on. So this area is focusing on tracking, marketing, SEO, and email. And the very last area is the third-party systems like ERP, product information management systems, third-party reviews engines like Reviews.io, Yotpo, JudgeMe, and so on, and customer activation / customer support third-party solutions like Zendesk, Gorgeous, any sort of loyalty program, apps, plugins, and so on. So those are the components. Wrapping up, I wanted to return to the part with Jira, because we're discussing here components that are used in a project. So for our projects organization, we use Scrum with sprints in Jira. Those sprints are week long. Each task currently assigned to one or more components. Let's take a look. So here's an example of a sidebar of a task. So each task is assigned to one or more components. This is flexibility of components. We previously split it up work through Apex, but it didn't work for us, and currently we don't use Apex at all. Are you using Apex? Would be great to hear your experience with Apex. Another thing with tasks is that we don't use subtasks and currently focusing on using checklists instead. So from all available issue types, we use only task and bug. Here is the sample task. You can see it contains estimated time, it contains actual time spent, and it's tracked by Clockify and applied directly to Jira. We use Toggle, Hubstaff, but end up with Clockify as it works best for our specific needs. What time tracker you use? Please share. Sprint, components it's related to, and pull requests are traced by Bitbucket. How we did it, it's because we set up specific rules for the commit messages, configured enforcement with Husky. This way Jira can see commits and code base that related to this task is tied up to the actual task. The last thing is labels. Labels is something that we're not using currently, but looking to utilize this field for additional context. Like, for example, what type of the issue we're dealing with in general. I'm basically open to suggestions on what can be placed here. Okay, so here's what I was able to come up with, and I'll be grateful for any feedback and input from you so we can expand this outline and move further. I want to invite everyone to our website, b2storefront.com. If you are a merchant who looks to solve your current challenges, please reach out. If you represent agency that build e-commerce sites, I'll be glad to talk and discuss what is the most important improvements your team looking to achieve. If you are a theme developer designer, please reach out to us. I'll be happy to help you with porting of your theme to B2 Storefront. This way, one code base can be offered to merchants who use multiple different platforms. If you are a conversion rate optimization expert or e-commerce focused SEO expert with proven track record and case studies, in that space, please ping me and join our partner network. At the end, I want to remind that we're hiring for remote positions for Gatsby.js developers and project manager with experience working in the e-commerce field. Thanks for watching, and please let me know what topics you want to think about together next.